Hello, everyone. Good morning. All right. So we are going to start with data loaders today morning. And see, before I actually start with this, let me discuss a few things related to data migrations. Whenever we are performing any sort of import and export operation, if suppose you are trying to insert a record inside an object, could be any object, let's say account. I wanted to insert a record inside account. What can I do? I can go with the user interface, click onto this tab, click onto the new button, fill up this form, and then hit the save button. So this is one of the technique by which I could insert a record. If I wanted to update a record, what can I do? Go to user interface, see the records, open that particular record, do whatever the editing I wanted to. I can do this inline. We can perform something called as inline editing, or maybe we can click on this edit button. I mean, I can do this inline editing, or I can go with I can click onto edit button, and then I can perform whatever editing you would require, and then I'll save this. All right. If I wanted to delete a record, what can I do? I can go to the tab, open the record on the user interface, and then click onto delete button, press OK. So this was something related to the import operation. If I wanted to export this all data, let's talk about that. First of all, the one which I have just discussed, the insert, update, and delete. If I would be doing this with the user interface, how many records at a time we can manipulate? The answer to this is only one. Only one. If you are using user interface either for inserting or updating or deleting a record, then you can maximum do this on a single record at a time. This is what is the capacity of user interface. Now, Salesforce also have given two different wizards, two different tools internally for this, something called as data import and data export. You will going to find this in data management. When you go with setup and then administer menu, inside administer, there's a tab called data management. Inside data management, we could see the import wizard and an export wizard. There are two separate tools for this, for importing and for exporting. If I wanted to export the data of account, for example, how many accounts, how many records are there inside account? If I would go with account, I can see there are 32 records. Now I wanted to export this. How can I do? The first way to do this is you can go to data management. And you can go to data export. And then you can make a click onto the export button where you can define to which particular object data you wanted to export. All right. So if I would be selecting an object called as account, I'll have to search it out over here. So let me try to find it out. Yeah, account. So if I would be searching as account and I'm click onto this, right? So you will receive an email, as you can see. So this exporting has been started, and when you try to export something, it would form one Excel sheet, one CSV file, which is going to be downloaded, okay, which is going to be downloaded onto your system. So this is what is an export operation. Similarly, you could perform import. Whenever you do import means you can bring up some data inside Salesforce, you can store it inside any of the object, and you can bring it from one of the Excel sheet, one of the CSV file. But if you are trying to do this with data import operation, there are few of the restrictions. The first is I could bring the data in every custom object, but when we consider the standard object, if you wanted to transfer bulk amount of record into any standard object using data import wizard, you can do this with account, contact, lead, campaign, and campaign member, actually not campaign, and solution. These are only a few objects. There are only few objects on which you can import. Also, like capacity is up to 50,000 only. How much data we could import or maybe export using data import and export wizard? So the capacity maximum is 50,000 records, not more than that. But what you want, if you wanted beyond that, then we come up with data loader. So before we start with data loader, first of all, let me tell you about the capacity. Using data loader, the first thing, the biggest advantage of using data loader is like you can import and you can export. You can import and export. You can perform this both of the operation using a single tool. For example, over here, there was two separate tools, one for importing, one for exporting, another one for exporting. All right. But when we use data loader, we have one single tool wherein I could perform import as well as export operation. I mean, if you can see, insert, update, upsert, delete, and hard delete. These are the options for performing import operation. And these two operations rather like export and export all, they are for the exporting of the data. So in a single tool, we have, first of all, we have both options to perform import and export. That is the first advantage. Now, the second advantage is like the capacity. Using import and export wizard, we could maximum manipulate, we could maximum import or export 50,000 records. But with data loader, we can do this up to 5 millions. Up to 5 million record, you can insert, update, delete. You can simply import and export up to 5 million records. 1 million is 10 lakhs, so 5 million is 50 lakhs in terms of Indian figures. If you wanted to go beyond this capacity, is there anything in Salesforce? Yes, of course, there is. You would going to learn in the programming something called as a batch class. In the programming, when I'm going to start immediately after admin has been finished, we are going to start with developments. So in the development, there is one topic called as asynchronous programming. Asynchronous programming. In the asynchronous programming, you are going to learn 5 components, 5 different components. One of them is batch programming. Now, batch programming is that feature of the Salesforce by which you can perform the mass update, mass import, export, even beyond this capacity. You would be going to amaze by knowing this, that using a batch program, we could manipulate up to 50 million records. 50 million, by the way, guys, is 5 crore. You can manipulate, you can import, you can insert, update, delete, not export. Not export. Batch programming doesn't provide you the facility to export, but you can import, you can insert, you can update, you can upsert, you can delete. You can hard delete up to 50 millions record. That is 5 crore. So we're going to learn that as well. Let's not suppressed data loader. Data loader is something we are going to learn right now. So data loader is that tool. The first is an on-premise tool. Well, what is the meaning of an on-premise? On-premise, you'll have to install. I hope every one of you has followed that part. Last lecture, I dedicatedly tell you that what requires to be get done to have this tool. I hope those who are having Windows 10 and 11 operating system, they did this. You first of all would have to require to go to this website and down the latest version of Java runtime environment. And then you go to your Salesforce where you will find data loader. And from data loader, you go to downloads. It would move on to you to one another tab. From here, you have downloaded data loaders. I hope those who have this, with this particular button, you were being able to download one MSI file, which later on, when you make a click, it will provide you a guided path to perform the installation of data loaders tools. All right. I hope you guys have did it. If you haven't did it, you can do it by today. I'm going to show you one cloud version as well. And the same operation I'm going to show you with the Salesforce inspectors as well. So the data migration, which we are learning right now, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to perform this. All right. The first is by using an on-premise tool called as data loader. Second would be a cloud tool called as dataloader.io. And third would be a Salesforce inspector. That's an extension that we'll have to add in the Chrome browser. All right. Let me show you start. All right. So the first thing would be like, see, I'll show you how to export the data and what is the difference between export and export all. All right. But before that, when you click on to export, it would ask you to make a login. It would ask you to first of all make a login. There are 2 different sort of logins, OAuth. and the second is password authentication. Well, we are going to go with this OAuth technique you will be going to learn in the integration part. What is it? What does it means by OAuth? What does it means by client ID, client secret, security tokens, and everything? We will going to learn this technique. What is the meaning of OAuth authentication? But there is a separate domain for this. When I'm going to start teaching you integrations, which is going to be taken after development. Like right now it's admin, the second module would be development. After development there would be like, I'm going to start with integrations and then finally deployments, and my part is going to be get over. Now you would going to learn this, but later on. Right now we will go with password authentication. Now it is as good as like, let me stop the screen sharing for a moment, and let me copy the password of your batch so that I could show you. Right. Mm, hmm. Yes. See, this is your batch username and the password which I was using to make a login to your org. Now, if you think this is as good as like, it when we make a click into the password authentication and I'll just copy this username. I'll just copy this username and I would going to enter the password. I'm going to enter the password. And because the login would be like login.salesforce.com if you are using production. If you are onto the sandbox, it would be test.salesforce.com. But because this org, what we are using is a production org, all right, your development edition is production org, by the way. And that is the reason whenever you wanted to make a login into the production org, you'll always have to use login.salesforce.com. If you wanted to log in inside a sandbox, that time you'll have to use test.salesforce.com. All right, that time you'll have to, these all are the sandboxes where I have logged in, right? As you can see the difference over here. So basically test.salesforce.com is a URL if you wanted to make a login to the sandbox, whereas login.salesforce.com is when you wanted to make yourself login into the production. What we see over here is like, I have entered the correct credentials, right? The correct username and the correct password. But if I would if I would try to make a login, it's going to give me the error. Let's see. Let me show you this. Verify, check, see error, check your username and the password. And if you still cannot make a login, you'll have to contact your administrator. This message is not getting displayed properly. I don't know why. I have entered correct username, correct password, but still it is showing me this error. Why? So because in whenever we wanted to enter, whenever we wanted to log in into data loader, along with the password, there is something more what you require to add, and that is your security token. Security token. I think that must have been written over here. Let me just copy why I'm doing this over here. I can do this right from here. Yeah, of course. See, along with security token, your password is just not the password. Whenever you are trying to make a login into data loader, you would require your password, and that password should be appended with something called a security token. Now, where I'm going to find this? See, the navigations has been written. Let me show you that. So when you wanted to have your password, first of all, go to your email. Your batch is 208. Let me make a login. Onto this email ID, I'm going to receive that password, that security token. Now, how to do that? Because if I wanted to make a login into this, right, along with my password, right, this is my password. I have to append something called a security token. So where I'm going to find this? Go to this name, go to your name, and there you have something called as my settings. See, my settings. Let's make a click onto this. And then expand this personal. Then expand this personal, right? Just expand this personal. And here you are going to see one link called Reset My Security Token. All right. I'll just repeat this once again. Go to your name and then go to My Settings. Go to your name and go to My Settings. Then once you go to the My Setting, you'll have to go to this particular setup area. Expand the personal over there. You're going to see one thing called Reset My Security Token. Make a click onto that. After your reset token, you can't use old API application. Let it be. Just make a click onto this reset. See, we sent a new security token to the email address. What is that email address? This email address for which this developer account was being created. So on this particular email ID, I have received your new security token, right? And this is that security token. You'll just require to copy this. You'll just require to copy and paste it along with your password. So this is my password. I'm removing everything from here, right? Just immediately after the last character of your password, just paste it over there. All right, just paste it over there. And let me now repeat this process once again. So I wanted to export the data, any operation, whatever you wanted to do this, right? First time it would ask you to make a login. Not every time, but at least first time, data loader would ask you to make an login. So I wanted to export. So it would ask me to authenticate yourself. So this is my username. And let me now copy and paste the password. And now if I would try to make a login, all right, it would still give me one second. Up to this password authentication. Let me stop this data loader and let me once again open it. Sometime this might happens. Internally, it maintained the sessions. When the session got expired, it would stop you to make a login. So I'll repeating the same process once again. And now I'm going to make a login. Yes, login successful. As you can see, login successful, right? Login successful. Anyway, so let's go further with this. So what I'm doing, I'm exporting the data. So it would ask you which object data you wanted to export. This is the list, but this seems not to be the list of all objects, right? As you can see, there are only few names. If you wanted to see the data of all, the names of all, you'll have to make a click over here. Show all Salesforce object. Now this is the complete list. This one is the complete list, as you can see. All right, so it's up to you, like what you want. I'm just removing this for now. So I wanted to export the data of account, and so I have selected account. And so I have selected account, right? Now you'll have to select where do you want it to store this. All right, let me do one thing. I'll create a folder, first of all. I would create a folder inside your 20, अरे मैं कहाँ चला जा रहा हूँ 208 batch. I would create one folder over here. Let me use this. All right, web to lead. Let me use this one only. So I wanted this file should be get stored. Let me give that path inside 208. We already have a folder called web to lead. Let me store it inside over there itself, right? And the name, you'll have to give the name. So I'm giving the name, for example, like I'm giving the name as account export dot, let me give as CSV. Let me give that as CSV. If you won't give the extension, later on you'll have to follow the same. You'll have to give it. So better would be like, when you're giving the name, you have to give it at that time. So I have given the path. Let me click onto this next button. And then this would ask you like how many fields you wanted to export inside the account, how many fields you wanted to export, right? How many fields? These are over here. So see, I wanted you to concentrate one thing. You're going to learn this later on, something called as SOQL, Salesforce Object Query Language, SOQL queries. As and when you're going to select fields from here, right? As and when you're going to select field, the SOQL is going to be generated automatically at this particular box. Observe this. I wanted maybe I wanted ID. First of all, ID. Select ID from account. See this, right? I wish to have, let's say, name, ID common name. I wish to have like active status. I wish to have like annual revenue. I wish to have like ownership. I wish to have like phone, fax, billing address, or maybe billing country, right? So these are the fields I wanted to export. Select, you can see active, annual revenue, billing, fax, ID, ownership from the SQL is automatically getting generated. This is something called as SOQL query, SOQL, Salesforce Object Query Language. You're going to study this, but in the development. All right. Now, once you are ready with how many fields you wanted, right? Once you are ready with that, the fields which you wanted to select, which you wanted to come into the Excel file. Once you are ready with this, you can simply click onto this finish button. You are chosen to export. Do you want it to proceed? Yes. So in the backend, as you can see, one file is getting generated over here. There were 32 successful extractions with 0 error. That means, see, account, we asked to extract, we asked to export account. How many records does the account object is having? Account is having 32. Now, all of them have been exported. All of them have been exported. All right. All of them have been exported. To where? To this particular path, what you have given. Now, this is that file which is being generated. Let me open and show it to you. This one is a CSV file, comma separated value. This one is a CSV file. Let me try to format it a little bit so that you would going to understand. Format. All right. See, this is what we have asked. The active status, the annual revenue, the billing, the fax, and then ID, name, ownership, right? All 32 records, they have been exported. Do you see? All 32 records, they have been exported. And they are being stored inside a CSV file. This is what basically is called as export operation. This is what is an export operation. All right. This is what is an export. Now, let me tell you what is an export all. And this is something like the difference between export and export all. They probably ask this in interview as well. They probably ask you in the interview as well. All right. So concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. I'll do one thing. I would be deleting few of the records from here. Right now we are having, if I would go with like all, if I would go with all accounts, let me try to delete few of the records from here. One, entitlements. All right. Let me try to go with this record. I am unlocking this record and I'm deleting this one. Now I'm deleting this one. Let me try to do this with one more record. And I'm deleting this as well. The two of the records I have deleted. Now, if I would go, there are 30 records. There are 30 records. All right. There are 30 records. Let me, don't save it. Let me once again export this. All right. Let me once again export it. I'm exporting the record. I'm just repeating the same process, nothing else. Account. Let me get it into this file, which I already have created. Next. And let me select the fields as well. Let me select the fields as well. So I would be selecting like active status, annual revenue, ID, industry, name, or maybe the ownership, or maybe something else. All right, whatever. These are some of the fields. And then I'm exporting. Now, because my account object right now is having 30 records, you can see there were 30 successful extractions. All right. How many records have been exported? 30 records. Previously 32. Why? Because the account was having 32. So this is simple to understand. how many records where when you click onto this export, the records that are inside the object, they are going to be get exported. As simple as this only. Previously, because there was 32 records, when I exported, I got 32 records in my CSV. Now my CSV is how many records it's having? It's having 30 records. Why? Because there are 30 records. There are 30 records inside the account object. All right. All right. Let me now perform export all. Let me now perform export all. From where? From the account. And let me give the name as account export all dot CSV. All right. I'm creating a separate file for this. I'm going next. Let me repeat the same process once again. I would be selecting active status or whatever the field you wanted. All right. Annual revenue. I would be selecting ID, industry, and this time, I would selecting one more field called as is deleted. Let me show you what is that, is deleted. And then I would be selecting, for example, ownership. I would be selecting, for example, phone, fax, right? Name I have taken. Oh, name I forgot to mention, like name as well. So this is what, these are some of the fields I selected. Now let me go with finish. And there were 33 successful extractions. See, although inside the object, as you can see to my cursor, there are 30 objects. There are 30 records. But the file is containing 33. The file is containing 33. How come this is possible? How come this is possible? Let me open this export all, and let me try to formatize it a little bit so that it would become more readable. Format, auto fit, all borders, bold, and this. All right. Now, this file is containing 33 records. Although inside object, there are 32 only. How come the file is containing 33? How come the file is containing 33? You see this column, just observe. For is deleted is false. Is deleted is false. Wherever it's false, wherever it is false, it would indicate the record is not deleted. The record is not. Question, what is the question? Is deleted. क्या ये delete हो चुका है? If the answer is false, no. No means what? No, it's not deleted. If it is not deleted, means it's there inside the object. And to those records, wherever you're going to find, let me try to filter it out. Or let me just try to arrange them. Arrange them, and now see. I brought these 3 records. I mean, when you export, but using export all, right? When you export using export all, it would even bring those records, like these 3 records where you can see Akash, Chetna, and Sunil. These 3 records originally were being deleted, and they are present inside recycle bin. Let me try to show you that. If I would go to recycle bin, I could see there are 3 records over there: test, and this one, and one more record. All right. These 3 records originally were being deleted, but because when you perform export all, it would bring those records as well from the object, those who are being inside recycle bin, where the is deleted is true. And when you perform technically, when you perform export, it would only bring those records where is deleted is false. That means the records which are not deleted, like 30 records. And when you perform export all, it would also bring those records which are deleted and present inside recycle bin. All right, let me ask you one question. I'm giving you this command to unmute yourself. You can now do this. Tell me how many days, if a record is being deleted, how many days it resides inside recycle bin? Yes. How many days it would be present inside recycle bin? Because after that, it's going to perform hard delete it automatically. It's going to vanish, perform. How many days a record after deletion would remain inside recycle bin? Yes. No guessings at all. You can Google this. You can find out the answer and just let me know. I can give, but I think you should do a little research. All right. So this is going to be one assignment, one small assignment. Go to ChatGPT or go to Google and try to find out the answer. If you delete a record inside for of any object, when you delete something, it goes to recycle bin. Just try to find out how many days it would remain inside recycle bin. All right, find out. After that, it's automatically going to be performed hard delete. So the basically, what is the difference between export and export all? When you export, it would going to export only those records which are there inside the object. And when you perform export all, it would even bring those records which are there inside recycle bin. Now, if they are not there inside recycle bin, that means if the data is already being hard deleted, we cannot bring it back. There's no way in Salesforce. Once the data got hard deleted, it's got vanished, and there is no way that you could restore it back. All right. So that is what was in export and export all. Right. All right. Today I would be able to cover these two operations only, and tomorrow we will going to see import operation like insert, update, upsert, and delete with the data loader itself. After this, we are going to see data loader.io, and finally with Salesforce Inspector. This one, right? That's all for today. Any questions from your side? Yes. Any questions? Someone had given this answer in the chat, Chetna, and you're absolutely right. For the next 15 days, it remains in recycle bin. After 15 days, it's automatically going to be hard deleted. After the data is being hard deleted, you cannot restore it back. There's no way. Yes. Any questions, guys? Anything? Any more clarification on anything you wanted to have? Yes. Come on. Nothing? No questions? All right. Let me give you something. I have given no assignments for past many days. Let me give you something. All right. I'll think of this and I'll going to give you some assignments on your WhatsApp group. By the way, I have updated your drive, and one more request. Please go to your drive and download everything from there. Because understand one thing. It's almost like 10 GB has been consumed. With this free edition, you only get 15 GB. And there are only few more sessions are going to be conducted for the admin part. After that, I'm going to start with development, and I would be storing the development and integration and deployment videos over here in the drive. So obviously we're not going to get that much of the storage. It's going to be hit very soon. So start downloading the videos from your drive to your system, because I'm going to delete this folder maybe this month end. All right. Maybe 31st of the March would be the last date. And I'm going to delete every video I'm going to simply delete this folder. All right. And you would only have development and rest of the things. So start downloading videos at your end. I'm giving you almost 1 month for this. This is more than enough, I hope. If you are even using your mobile's data, you at least have 2 GB, 1.5 GB in a day. And whatever the file you are downloading is not more than 300 MBs, if I'm not wrong. It's around 100 MB, 200 MB, 150 MB. See, so you can easily download this. You can at least download 2 to 3 videos in a day, and you can simply complete this downloading before 1 month. All right. So go with this, start downloading, because I'm going to delete this folder and maybe in the next month. That's all. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.